When Steven Spielberg was making Jaws, the sharks kept breaking down. What was supposed to be the star of the movie turned into a production nightmare. So instead of showing it, he hid it. And in doing so, he built more tension than any monster could. When Kanye had his jaw wired shut after a car accident, he was so determined to build off the momentum he had going that he recorded through the wire with his jaw shut. On top of that, he turned that tragic accident into part of the song rollout. The point is that sometimes the limits we hate or that hold us back are the reason that we create. And that's been on my mind a lot more lately. We live in a time with unlimited tools, access, and inspiration. Yet somehow there's so much friction to just make something, whether it's film, sports, music, or food. The best things often come from people who had no choice but to make do with what they had, which reminds me of a dish that I grew up eating. Sometimes in the morning or on days where she ain't have the time to cook a full meal, Mom Dukes would fix it up. It was her go-to and actually my go-to, the kitchen filled with smells and sizzling sounds. All she needed was a pan, some cooking oil, and a flame. She'd crack some eggs, add some red and green peppers and some onions and cook it until it looked right. She'd finish it off with salt, pepper, and sometimes we'd eat it with plantain, sometimes with yuca. It was kind of like a scrambled omelet. I never really gave much thought to it growing up. I just thought it was one of those Dominican dishes every mom made. You ain't ask why, you just ate it. She grew up eating it too. I figured she was just passing it down and doing as she was taught. A few months ago, I was trying to clean up my diet and I asked her what she put in it, the ingredients. She started explaining and then cracked a joke about why she ate it growing up. She said, uno le tiraba lo que sea que había ahí, and laughed. And if you don't speak Spanish, she pretty much said she just threw anything in there that was around. So she came from humble beginnings and grew up in a small town in DR. Some days there wasn't a main dish, no chicken or meat. They just made it with whatever was there. And at the time I didn't think much of it, but the more I sat with it, the more I realized simplicity and a little creativity can go a long way. I have cameras, software, AI, inspiration on every screen, and I still find myself stuck sometimes. Some days it feels like an idea comes to me and I'll plan around it, but then I'll put it on pause or, for whatever whack reason or excuse, and then start another one, and then the excitement wears off and the cycle continues. Eventually the idea stays in my notes and never sees the light of day. And this was almost one of them. Shit, I don't even know if this is gonna get posted, but the execution is what needs to happen. So I think back to Spielberg's struggles creating Jaws, Kanye's determination to keep the career afloat, and it reminds me that I need to use whatever is in front of me and stop with the excuses. The best work doesn't come from having everything, it comes from making the most of what's in front of you. Maybe even limiting myself on purpose. Sometimes you don't need more tools, you just need less noise and to lock in. But maybe that's what creation really is, making the most out of what you already have.